Drew, thanks so much for having me out here to your offices here in Pennsylvania, and I wanted to do a little bit of a thought leadership Q&A with you, talk a little bit about some of the expertise, the knowledge you have on some of the things going on in the industry. It's, there's a lot of latent knowledge. I love getting perspectives from everyone involved, so thanks so much for having me out, and let's talk a little bit.
Great.
Automation is obviously enormous right now. I've been in the industry, you've been in the industry, we've seen these plants get more and more automated over the years, but in recent years it seems to have really ramped up in the meat and poultry industry. Talk a little bit about the trends you're seeing in automation, what's driving these trends from your perspective, and where you see the industry going in the short term as far as automation goes.
Great. No, thanks for coming out, Andy, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about it. For us as an automation provider to our customers, it's really key for us to understand their needs. Luckily, at the moment, it's fairly easy to see what their needs are, right? I mean, we have a labor shortage. The benefit of a low unemployment economy is that for us as providers, we can answer the need and the call of our customers who really have both a labor availability and labor reliability issue. And so it's forcing them to automate in areas where the jobs are less complex, are more repetitive. And so we've taken on projects and new product development efforts in the last 4 or 5 years that we didn't have the opportunity to take on even in previous years, simply because it was easy enough to put the labor there. And today it's not even a question of the cost of the labor, it's a question of the availability of labor. So our customers are looking to automate things they weren't looking at automating in years past. For us, really, where we're seeing most of the growth specific to our applications, being we insert paper under, between, and around food products. We sell card dispensers for retail bacon, and we automate those processes. So we've really looked hard at where the growth areas are for us, and those tend to be, right now, the bacon, burger alternatives, and then into the portion control sliced meat areas. So we've done our analysis and tried to understand where the biggest payback is, and where our customers will benefit the most. And so bacon, as an example, you look at every retail bacon line that runs an L board, which is probably 80% of the retail lines out there. And every one of those lines needs to have a card put under the pack. In some of the plants, that dispensing is automated, and some it's not. But in every plant, once that card's under the draft of bacon, it has to enter the packaging machine in a certain way. So because the portion, or the first slice of the portion, has to be over the window of the board, and it has to enter the packaging machine flap leading with the board. Every pack has to be turned 180 degrees, and the flap has to be folded. And that requires a significant amount of labor that isn't really value-added labor. So we've introduced, in the last 5 or 6 years, our card dispenser for retail bacon, to be a better card dispenser, we feel, but also to enable the downstream automation. So it's extremely precise, and it allows us to put the pack of bacon in the same place on the board every time. That allows us, we introduced it at Process Expo this year, our latest generation of bacon cardboard folder and turner, right? So it's an automation solution. It's a long way of saying we automate that manual process. So we see an area where our customers have sort of a high labor component that's not real value added. And so this is a chance for them to automate that solution with a fairly consistent product, meaning a lot of people, while they have different bacon, right, and different and varying profiles and so forth, the product is generally packaged in the same way. So we see an area where we can generate a lot of positive payback for customers, and where we can serve a lot of customers with a standard solution.
So do you see these labor shortages across the board, speaking like regionally or certain areas of the country? And then also additionally, what about you guys? Are the labor shortages affecting you in terms of what you have to do?
The short answer is yes. We face the very same problems with the skill positions that our customers face. And so as we see these shortages across industries, across the board, we see a lot of cross-industry competition for key labor. In our world, it happens to be programmers and application engineers. In our customers' world, it runs the gamut. It's from the skill positions to the unskilled positions, and so everybody is tested right now to try and find out how they. We see customers looking at all varying degrees of changes to help their labor issue. It used to be that you would never sacrifice giveaway at the cost of labor. You would never, as an example, give away an extra slice of bacon to avoid putting labor in to scale the bacon. And some of that is changing. Some of those concepts are at least being challenged to understand, hey, if we can't run the line today because someone doesn't show up, we don't sell any bacon.
Yeah.
So maybe we have to find alternative methods to get product out the door. And so what's refreshing is that the challenges are causing people to look at things differently than they had before, and it's allowing us as suppliers to be innovative and to really kind of look at things from an angle that maybe we weren't able to previously.
So talk about, in the talks we had earlier, you talked about connecting to the end users, what you do and how the value, makes sense for processors who work with you. Talk about that relationship and that strategy, getting the end users involved or making processors aware of what you bring to the end users, their customers, or not customers, the people they supply with products down the road.
Yeah, I think that's the part that we all have a sort of a customer and then an end user, and we all have a common goal, and none of us will, as automation providers, will be here if we're not making sure that final user experience is what it needs to be. And so we try to answer the needs of our suppliers, our direct customers, the processors. I apologize, not our suppliers, but the processors. But also try to make sure we're keeping in mind what the experience of that end user is. And in our world, that's because we are sort of in this post-processing, pre-packaging sort of format and area. We see areas where our product, where it's traditionally been a separator for frozen burgers or a portion control agent for multiple slice products that might be going into a deli or something, and they want a common user experience, 4 slices for 1 sandwich, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Where we see us able to impact that, whether it be that commercial kitchen or that end user or that consumer. As an example, we're putting paper around a deli portion that might be 4 slices, and we contact a high amount of the surface area. So we can, with the right materials, the right papers and films that have additives in them, we can reduce secondary microbial introduction. So when mom comes home and opens up an HPP pack that's going to have great shelf life when it's sealed, and she puts her hand in and introduces that secondary microbial, we can inhibit the growth of that and gain some shelf life there. We can use flat stock casings that have flavorings on them to flavor raw products, chicken or beef or whatever they might be. We can inhibit mold growth. So, and we can enhance traceability and supply chain management as well. So our goal is to make this what we term it simply as this piece of paper, but it can be a number of different substrates. Mm-hmm. We want to make that do more, right? So it has a certain amount of value to the end user if it separates, but it has a lot of value if we can make it add shelf life to the supply chain, right? An incremental improvement in a large supply chain equals big dollars, right? So if that's shelf life enhancement, if that's food safety, if that's the ability to provide data and feedback real time, we're looking at all those areas where we feel our technology is uniquely positioned to serve those end users in those large supply chains, and we're really excited about the benefit that the Middleby Group brings to Packaging Progressions, because they have great relationships within those end users, those commercial kitchens, and by marrying some of what we do on the processor side we can leverage a lot of that technology and benefit into the end user. So we're really making sure that whatever we're doing is beneficial both to our direct customer and to their final customer. And so that excites us a lot.
Yeah, and it goes beyond the simple interleaving, right? It's just building off of that and then making everybody in the chain understand the benefits to what your product brings beyond just being, like you said, that piece of paper.
That's right. That's right. If we can, as an example, so lay flat bacon is going to be on a piece of, lay flat bacon gets baked in an oven at the store level. So we're putting a substrate under that pack of bacon. If we can make that do something additional, whether it's to release better, to have more heat hold out and resistance, to absorb grease in a certain way, to reduce grease at the store level, all those items are things that we know we can impact, and now we have the ability to talk to end users and to our customers and make sure that we have as much visibility as we can to do our job, which is really, really exciting.
Great. Drew, thanks so much for the time, the insight. I really appreciate it. Good luck in the efforts to add value at that, and good luck with dealing with the labor shortages as well on your end. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks for coming out.